I do have to wonder how this series is gonna play out. I see a couple of people in chat here saying that
Mhm.
RunaMoK probably isn't gonna be one to play a standard game against MeomaikA, which I don't know about that. I think there are three phases of playing against MeomaikA, right? There's the first phase where you really don't know much about him, so you try to play normal and it doesn't work out.
Mm.
Then there's the second phase where you know more about him, so you try to, analyze his playstyle a little bit and then try to come up with something that will directly counter that, and then that doesn't work. But then you have the third stage, which is saying, you know what? I can see some of the downsides to how MeomaikA plays, so I'm gonna go play straight up, but try to hit at certain timings or try to defend against certain waves. And usually that does work. It's a follow-up that MeomaikA goes for that you worry about in that scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a lot of contingency plans. As we load on here onto game number 1 of this best of 3 semifinals, we are starting off here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, where here we have the purple Terran player coming down from the land of Melbourne. He is going to be representing Legacy Esports as well as Probe, as they are roommates. We have RunaMoK.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is blue. He's representing his new team, Intensity Esports. It is MeomaikA.
Maybe Intensity is the Pelican.
Ah.
Oh, no, wait, because he's calling himself the Pelican. Intensity is a fish in the Pelican's pouch?
He's carrying the team. There you go.
It's all the context we need.
Oh, no. Okay, this is it. So, MeomaikA's the Pelican, and in his mouth is the fish, and it's like Justice Simon,
Aries.
Upley, like Thuc Lao, like all the Vietnamese
players.
The
Vietnamese players, yeah. I was gonna say Aries, because Aries does, he's involved with Intensity in some way. But yeah, no. The Vietnamese scene makes a lot more sense.
Oh god. And something that I did want to touch on that could change things here in this series, I would say, and I think we agreed on this for the longest time, MeomaikA's worst matchup is ZvT.
Absolutely. Seether is consistently giving MeomaikA They consistently go back and forth, and I believe Seether actually might have a winning record in 2020.
I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he does have a positive record. Azure has taken maps, sometimes series off of MeomaikA as well. And when it comes to this matchup, a lot of it is because MeomaikA has his own unique style. Sometimes it works and it's amazing.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
Sometimes it just falls on its face.
That Hydroling style looks so unbeatable when he plays against somebody when he plays against a Terran player who has never experienced it before. But if we're going off of ANZ champs, it happened to Seether, it happened to Razorblader. The first time they played against his style, completely destroyed. They came back next season, completely countered it.
Exactly. When Razorblader first went up against MeomaikA, he just crumbled. He didn't know what was going on. Like, Razorblader had the hardest time against both Ender and MeomaikA in that first season of ANZ champs. And DreamHack, Rest of Asia, and OCE. But afterwards, once he figured out that style, like, he knew what was coming and he was able to prepare.
It really was. It's a very counterable style, provided that you do your homework beforehand and you're able to analyze things and come up with that counter. But we'll see if RunaMoK has been doing that. Now, obviously, RunaMoK, he's a veteran in the scene. He knows just about every player, aside from maybe some of these up-and-comers like Starduck and Nux.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he knows specifically how Meo plays lately. He knows the general playstyle of MeomaikA, which is he doesn't have one. He just throws out crazy strats and see what sticks. But he doesn't know specifically things like this Hydra style or this Fire style.
I was about to say it, mate. What is MeomaikA doing?
Billababa coming out, and we're gonna be seeing that 2-base Brutalist coming out over that ranch. I want to go for a Australian accent, but I didn't know how to do it.
God, I don't know what that was, mate. That was not Aussie.
MeomaikA coming down.
2-base muta, and it does get scanned. RunaMoK sees everything. He sees the lair and he sees the spire, so he's fully aware of what MeomaikA is going for, and now he has all the information he needs to counter it.
Watch MeomaikA just go into Hydra after this. Or no, not even Hydra. Go and grab a Roach Horn.
Well, I mean, he definitely could. He's still on 2 bases. So as we get into the swing of things, like, MeomaikA is aware that he got scouted. He is still producing 5 mutas. How much damage can these 5 mutas really do is the big question, as the engineering bays are on the way, as well as Stim, Marines, Widow Mines.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a lot of hopes here for MeomaikA's harass. Even getting supply capped is killing him right now.
Oh, the wall's on the wall!
Really killing him. The wall is not a wall, though. There are plenty of Hellions to deal with this, however. But the Mutalisks do come in. Not a lot of anti-air. Has to be careful about that Widow Mine. But for the most part, they are not in position. The turrets are not up yet in this natural base. MeomaikA getting a little bit pulled back and forth. These mutas getting aggroed so easily.
Yeah, and the mutas, they're still dealing more damage.
Fire.
Again, it took a long time for those E-bays to finish up. The missile turret is still in production and is still dealing so much damage here with 8 SCVs going down.
That was a whole lot more than MeomaikA should have got.
And mate, you know what? He didn't lose a single Mutalisk.
He didn't?
Nope.
Only lost Lings and an Overseer so far. This is MeomaikA for you.
Exactly, as he dives in. Yeah, the missile turret. The Stim does finish. That will help out RunaMoK in the defense, but it looks like MeomaikA shouldn't get too much more done. But what's interesting is that MeomaikA is committing to this style with +1 flyer attack on the way.
Huh. I don't think I've seen MeomaikA commit this hard to Mutalist styles. Normally when we think of Zerg players from the region who, you know, like their Spire play, it's often Demi, right? Sometimes Ender. Not necessarily Meo.
Yeah, when it comes... Well, I mean, what I will say is that... Oh my god, No, not the missile turret, please!
No, RunaMoK!
No, sorry, that was intentional.
I think that was intentional. He was trying to, free up space. But even still...
His SCV
it feels bad that you... trapped.
Yeah, his SCV was trapped behind it, so unfortunate placement there.
After a certain point, that mineral patch is gonna get mined out, right?
True.
The SCV is gonna be freed.
It will take some time though. As we just see the mutas. Oh, they're trying to find more damage. Yo, there's not a lot of Marines here. Yeah, he can just fight it.
Indeed, he can. It is mostly just this lone Viking that immediately gets picked off. He might actually get this. He might actually get this orbital light.
He could. I mean, there's not enough Marines here to fight the Mutalists. Like, there's just not enough anti-air here for RunaMoK.
And with that, RunaMoK, he was looking so prepared at the start of this game. He scanned that Spire. He was getting his E-base, but man, MeomaikA hit at just such the perfect... I don't even want to call it a timing. It might have been an anti-timing more than anything for RunaMoK before he had enough anti-air of anything out.
Exactly.
And now he's just keeping him behind for so much. To be fair, MeomaikA, he is joining up pretty hard. What am I saying? I was going to say he's only on 4 bases. That's perfectly fine when you're up against a 3-base Terran player who has not even saturated their 3rd base.
Exactly. It's not just 4 bases. He's getting his 5th base. At the same time, he has so many mutas. He's just overwhelming the amount of Marines here at the 3rd base. GG gets called.
And this is a whole new MeomaikA that we're seeing. Intensity. It's doing him good.
That it is. And we didn't really have much time to talk about it because it was pretty chaotic, but MeomaikA did do this in ANZ Champs last season. I believe it was against Razorblader, where it was on Ice and Chrome, and he went mass muta. I believe it was Ice and Chrome, and his opponent went mass Widowmine Thor, and MeomaikA refused to not make mutas. I remember I was casting it. I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago. I was casting it with Zeph, and the entire time it's like, stop making mutas, Mio. And he didn't have any detection, so he just kept like receiving Widowmine shots to the face, and he just kept losing his mutas, and he just kept making more. And it's like, oh my god.
I said, no, I am Demi.
Oh god.
He just wanted Demi to notice him, man.
Yeah, and I guess he did. And now MeomaikA, he's up in the series.
That he is beautifully swift view to play here. Swift sounds good in my head, but I think I might need to explain that. What I mean is he hit the timing swiftly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, less of a timing, more of an anti-timing, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, as we are getting ready for game number 2, people are asking about like these players playing in other events. Unfortunately, Seether only does play in regional events, regional weeklies. The C players, they are known to branch out a little bit more. And if you tune into ESL Open Cup Asia, you know, recently Ender has been pretty frequently signing up. Sometimes we see Demi, sometimes MeomaikA. Ranger has been showing up a lot as well.
He really has. Gogo Joey had a pretty impressive showing a couple of weeks ago in ESL Asia, but hasn't really, he's been signing up on and off since then.
Yeah. So
still see him every other Asia Cup, I want to say.
So other than invitationals, you can find them at ESL Asia. ESL Open Cup Asia, which we do cast every single Monday if you want to tune into that. But speaking of invitationals, Holy moly, she did, they did announce the events, including Ender and MeomaikA.
It's been announced. Huh? Dude, we need that information soon, TM. But for now, we are going to be casting this series, starting off on Oxide LE. We're here in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The purple Terran player coming down from Melbourne. He is the man himself. I'm running out of ways to describe him here. Representing Legacy Esports, he is RunaMoK. I want to call him the Mech Man, but he does switch things up quite a bit. He plays both Bio and Mech.
Oh boy, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is representing his new team Intensity Esports, already up 1-0 in this best of 3 semifinals. It is MeomaikA.
Did you just click the fanfare a bunch of times?
I accidentally pressed the wrong one, and then I had to press it again.
Nope. Yeah, I heard the tap, tack.
Tack.
Like, huh.
Duh. Oh boy.
I as much as I love fanfare, I'm also a keyboard guy. I like them keyboard noises as well as the fanfare.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
A keyboard infamous for its noises. It could be even louder. I could have blue switches. But screw that.
Yeah. What's even louder than blues? Greens?
I think
I mean, greens are just heavier blues, so I guess it depends. That's of course Cherry MX. If you want to go into like Gatoron, then there's a whole bunch.
Oh boy. But we are getting into the swing of things here, and MeomaikA, he went for 2 base meta game 1. I can't imagine he's going to do the same thing here in game 2.
I doubt it, especially considering we're on Oxide. There's not a lot of dead air to really utilize on this map. It's much better for a ground army. It's much better for a ground army to, you know, get their surrounds in, as opposed to an air army to, you know, try to abuse the micro, shall we say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will say that Oxide, it is a little bit more Terran favored because of tank pushes here. But like, I don't know what RunaMoK is going to go for, really. Like, as you were saying, it's been a while since we've seen him. You know, even if he goes for a 1-1-1, there's a lot of different openers that you can go for. I do think that he was very influenced by his scout in game number 1, and then he had like an initial plan, and then he had to like completely switch things up and veer off course and go into something else to deal with the mutas, and ever since then he was kind of shaken and he couldn't really keep up. We'll see what he has.
I think MeomaikA will be merciful this time and say, okay, let's play this out standard. Or am I just delusional?
What is standard in MeomaikA's mind? That's what I thought.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Oh god. Oh my god. Okay. Are we gonna have like a concussive shell like Hellbat push?
It's gotta be, right? You do not get Marauders this early in the TVZ unless you're going for the conch shells, but we'll see. Still waiting on that gas count to get a little higher.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do see, or we should see RunaMoK like banking up those. Yeah, banking up those Marauders, like, and hiding them just in case Scout does come in. At the moment, MeomaikA isn't really too concerned with that, as he's going for a Bane Bust.
Basically, the last thing you want to see when you go for this build.
I mean, right now the wall is not a wall. There are a decent amount of Hellions, and they can, you know, micro back and chip away at these Banelings. But again, I'm just worried about the Lings once they flood in. And RunaMoK still has no idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say Marauders are pretty good against the Banelings here, but Concussive Shells is only now on the way. The bunker got evacuated, the wall is wide open, and the Banelings are starting to stream in. If they get these SCVs, 6 of them taken out immediately. He did not even need to bust in here, Light. I'm shook.
The wall was down. The wall was down at the ramp as well. These Hellions are enough to clean up though, so he will be able to just barely hold on. But he's using so much. 12 SCVs going down.
Indeed, he did. But to be fair, he did keep the majority of his army alive. Concussive Shells has finished up, and that army's about to be on its way. So once RunaMoK goes for the counterattack, if MeomaikA isn't prepared, if he just continues to send his Lings forward, he's going to be in for a very rough surprise.
Exactly. The push can still deal a lot of damage. The problem is, like, I don't know if RunaMoK is going to be able to leave his base. Like, the Lings are still here.
That they are. Hellions are dealing with them very nicely, but there are enough of Lings here to get some kind of damage done. Again, Lings are very expendable here for MeomaikA, even though it is the early game, and they do cost a little more, relatively speaking.
Oh, that they do. And quickly checking MeomaikA's vision, he did see the armory building. I don't know if he clicked on it because it was very early on. So I don't think he really has a grasp on what is coming his way, on how committed this attack is going to be. Oh. He
is getting a lot of queens regardless, though.
True.
And that is the ideal unit to deal with Hellbats like this. He doesn't have a lot of transfuse energy, however. And now he's trying to get the Banelings to connect. Again, Hellbats are light units. The Banelings will have a little bit of a bonus against them. He does not want to connect them to Marauders, though. Just let him connect Neo. And it's still looking pretty good for RunaMoK, but he's starting to get surrounded just like so. Even the Landed Viking not getting a particularly good trade. And that medevac is so low on energy.
Exactly, like the push. Yeah, the push has been held. There's still plenty of queens to help defend. I mean, he's trying to dive in with these Hellbats, but I can't see them doing too much damage. As you said, MeomaikA has held beautifully.
And RunaMoK getting a little bit stifled here. He has retaken the natural, and he's still looking pretty good macro-wise. You know, he's nowhere near supply blocked. He has the tech that he needs. Getting a third base as well as the additional Raxus now. Should be seeing him go into that mid-game macro mode that a lot of Terran players want to be at, but Mike is committing to this bus.
Yeah, and
RunaMoK doesn't have much of an army here.
Exactly. What's scary is that RunaMoK, to like try and catch up, he has been avoiding his factory production. He doesn't have any Widow Mines, he doesn't have any tanks, he doesn't have any kind of splash damage to deal with this Ling Bane. So once again, MeomaikA is going to be able to break this.
Now, the concussive shells will help a little bit, but not that much when it's only a single Marauder. And the Banelings are once again in. Look at that connection light! Ouch! I felt that in my soul as a Terran player.
Oh god, exactly. And there's still Banelings left over. He crashes in, busts into the main base. At the same time, we do have a little bit of a drop in the main base of MeomaikA, and these Hellions are going to be dealing some damage.
And it's actually looking pretty good for RunaMoK here. He's not dead yet, but MeomaikA is so far ahead, both in terms of the worker count and the army count, and just the fact that he's dealing a lot more damage than RunaMoK can.
Exactly. And of course, MeomaikA has the defender's advantage. Like, he has all these things coming in. To be fair,
point though.
Exactly. RunaMoK is trading as best he can, just barbecuing it up here in the main base of MeomaikA, and this is keeping RunaMoK in this game.
It really is, but now that the medevac is out of energy, this is about to be the end. RunaMoK equalizing as much as he can. He is still down a pretty good chunk of workers here, but when you're a Terran player with this many orbital commands, he's on, what, 3 orbitals? It shouldn't take too long for him to catch up.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, as you said, like with 3 CCs, like RunaMoK, he's down 7 workers. That's not too bad. And now that CC is a part of the wall, it's going to be that much harder for MeomaikA to really bust in and break this position. And not only that, the tanks are finally out.
That they are. MeomaikA will no longer be able to bust on through this. Can still camp around the 3rd base locations, but yeah, the time has passed for MeomaikA to just, put his foot on the Z key and just continue to flood in. He's working on his macro now. The pendulum of advantage, who has the advantage light, has just swung back and forth so hard in this game so far.
Exactly, but
it's swing even more as we continue.
The thing is though that MeomaikA still has the element of surprise, and that is being that this Roach Warren, it hasn't been scouted, so RunaMoK is unaware of how committed MeomaikA is to going Roach Ravager, like with the 2-2 upgrades already on the way.
I tell you what, Light, it is even more of a surprise here, because who goes Roaches when they see their Terran opponent says to open up concussor shells?
You're not wrong. That's just clicking in my mind. Yeah, he has concussive shell. He's like, I know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make roaches. So okay.
Only Meo.
Look, there's a reason why MeomaikA.
The only other player who would do this, unfortunately, plays Protoss, and of course that's
Patience. Yeah, Patience. He's the only other one. God damn it, Patience. God damn it, Mia. There's something about these two. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they have like the Y gene in them or something, and that's what they do. But
they need to make an Archon pairing.
They
or
do.
ZvT pairing.
I don't know if we should unleash that into the world. That sounds terrifying. But speaking of terrifying,
we wouldn't be able to control it.
Oh, not at all. This drop, though, also uncontrollable. It did deny the fourth base. It goes into the main base, and it scouts the roaches.
Loving the start 7 coming out here from RunaMoK. There's just not enough here for MeomaikA to, really have much of a threatening presence. RunaMoK just starts stepping back and forth with his stim, even taking out a couple of roaches in addition to these 5 drones.
Exactly. And he should have also clicked on the roaches as well, realized what the upgrades were looking like for MeomaikA. MeomaikA being ahead at the moment on those upgrades. Ooh, 73 overlords.
You get it. It's a buffet here. Every Terran player's dream.
Oh my god, 4?
Funnily enough, MeomaikA is still pretty far from getting supply capped. I guess it does kind of hurt that he has to spend his larva to remake those, but still. There's a lot of worse damage MeomaikA could have gotten.
Definitely. But what's important is that, RunaMoK, this is a big distraction. It's keeping the Roach Ravager busy as RunaMoK is finally taking his base. He is ahead in workers. He's, got a decent tank line as well. He has gotten back into this game, and we'll see if MeomaikA lets him breathe or if he goes for the attack.
And immediately he goes for the attack. Finally supply capped and decides, you know what? I've had enough. I've had enough of you, RunaMoK. And your shenanigans, hitting at the angle where none of the tanks are at, Light.
He could just go straight into the main base. He can go straight into the natural. He can just avoid the entire army.
Getting a little bit of a, not even a multi-prog there. That looked more like a misrally, but it is working in MeomaikA's favor. He does not want to get caught in the siege line, though.
Oh no, he does not. One of the tanks do fall. The Marines are going down as well, and there's not a lot here to buffer for the tanks. The tanks are naked.
Apparently it's going to be enough. Yeah, I did not think the Roach Ravager was going to be enough, but a lot of these tanks were not in the front lines here to, do the damage that you need to do. And MeomaikA just picking off one by one. Once again, the mid SCV count for RunaMoK is plummeting. He's doing the best that he can here on the other side of the map, but just not enough Marines here to counteract the reinforcements of MeomaikA.
Exactly. The problem was that RunaMoK, he sent the majority of his Marines across the map for these drops, which I don't blame him for, but it meant that the Marines were not here to buffer for the tanks, to keep them alive, to avoid them from getting on top of by the Roach Ravager. GG gets called.
What a slugfest of a game. MeomaikA, he's going to be a first finalist. Man, and I'm just looking at the chat over here. Starduck saying that 2-2 timing, you never want to underestimate it when it's Roach Ravager in a ZvT like that. And this kind of proves it. Man, oh man.
Exactly. GG, well played. I mean, MeomaikA was the favorite going into the series, and he did look strong, but not gonna lie, I was impressed by RunaMoK and how
very good.
Yeah, how solid he was. You know, even though like he was taking hit after hit, like especially that last game, it was very back and forth, and he made MeomaikA work for it.
Absolutely did. I will say that what really shined through from RunaMoK here in his run, both against Hero and against MeomaikA, is his decision making more than anything else. Like, it wasn't a bad idea going for the concussive shell Hellbats like that early on. If MeomaikA, who would have thought that MeomaikA would have gone for a Bane Bust like that, right? If MeomaikA did not go for that, then I imagine it would have just killed him outright. But somehow he went for the one. He went for the one build. MeomaikA, I'm saying, went for the one build that just makes the Hellbat concussive shell timing kind of irrelevant. Well, he also did manage to slip on through when the wall wasn't a wall, and you know, use his Banelings as efficiently as he could. To be fair, it wasn't just like a blind luck or a build order loss here.
Yeah,
MeomaikA really, you know, really showing that he does do some questionable things, but once he sees those opportunities, he goes straight for it.